Hi, I'm Supermoon Tarot, and in today's video, we're going to be seeing what's coming for you in the year 2020. Now, I thought this was the most appropriate video to do for today because I wanted to take a moment to thank you guys for 20,000 subscribers. I'm blown away. I'm always very confused, but I'm extremely appreciative above anything. Thank you guys so much for taking a chance on me. I hope you know and can feel how much I care about doing this, how much I care about putting people at ease and delivering the right messages, and how much this means to me. And I thought, oh gosh, I think last time I checked it, it was like 20,200 subscribers. So I thought, ooh, it's a sign, 2020, the year 2020. But I wanted to take a moment, as I say thank you guys so much. Seriously, thank you. But I wanted to tell you one of my favorite parts that I love about this channel. And whether it be in the comment section or the kind messages you guys send me or interactions through private readings, I wanted to just take a moment to say that I have always loved and believed in people and humanity as a whole, but when I have been as fortunate as I have been to get to meet so many compassionate and kind and loving people, you guys have broadened my world in a whole different way. I can't explain it. I just feel that much more loving, I feel that much more compassionate getting to know you guys are like that and are out there. I just want to say thank you. Thank you deeply for being this way and sharing it with me, because I feel very lucky to have those interactions. So thank you so much. As you can see though, we have 4 groups in front of us. Pick whatever group resonates with you most. As you can see, I have the 2 concept repeating. I thought it would be fun and full of synchronicities and coincidences and stuff like that. So let me give you a moment to choose. And after you've chosen the group that resonates with you most, know that down in the description there is a timestamp for each pile. Go to your designated pile you've chosen with the timestamp, and I will be able to jump into your reading. But let's start off with group number one. Let's find out what's coming for you in the year 2020. Let's look at your cards. We have the High Priestess in reverse, 9 of Cups in reverse, King of Cups upright, the Queen of Swords upright, the Moon card upright. This is interesting. The Death card in reverse, the 9 of Swords in reverse, the Hierophant in reverse, and your last card is the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, give me just one moment to look at everything. Okay. Interesting. All right, so this is really cool. So tarot has been very well-rounded in your spread, which just essentially means that we're getting a lot of reasons why you're making certain decisions, those outcomes, why things go the way they go, motivations, repercussions, kind of like everything. So as you can hear by what I'm implying, there's some stuff that goes a little awry this year. However, the good news is this can all be changed. This is just a lot of good interpretations and misplaced, attention or energy. And we can totally flip this around so that you can kind of see the signs coming and then basically turn it into your advantage. Because this is not all bad. A lot of this is just somebody who wants an even better life than they have now. And unfortunately get guided down a path that would maybe cause a little bit of frustration is the best way I can put it. Like I said, nothing terrible, just why not have the best year possible? So Over here in the High Priestess, especially with the Moon card, I'm getting told what would be, how do I put this? We could simplify it and just say your intuition is off, but I'm actually not picking this up. For me, this is less about your intuition being off and more that you're focusing too much of your attention this year on what other people are saying, your outside forces, rather than taking a second to check into yourself inwardly and say, well, what is my gut telling me? How do I feel about this situation? And that's important to note here because these outside influences, by the way, you're not being manipulated. I do not see someone trying to get one over on you. But in the High Priestess in reverse, this does say that you're getting second-hand information that is not entirely correct. Think of this as like whisper down the lane effect, that by the time you received this information and it's gone through 3 different people, yeah, it's a warped version of whatever. I mean, maybe even the first person and what they experienced isn't even the truth. So this secondhand information, again, no one's intentionally trying to manipulate you. This is sort of gossip that is accidentally causing you to have what's going on here in the Nine of Cups. Now, the cool thing about the Nine of Cups is when it's upright, it's a super positive card. It's like everything is so amazing, you just can't even believe it's real, but it is. It's getting everything you want. It's a really happy yes card, so to speak. But the Nine of Cups in reverse compared to something like the Four of Cups, Four of Cups upright is like being in a bad mood, you're just things aren't looking great, you feel bored by everything. But the Nine of Cups in reverse implies everything's great, but you're finding little scuff marks, little dents in between all the beauty. It's not really there. It's a perspective that you're focusing too much on what isn't great and blowing it out of proportion when everything is actually going really well for you. So again, like I said, positive sign. This implies that the year 2020 has a lot of potential goodness for you, and you're even going to start the year with a lot of potential goodness. But this is where things start to kind of go awry. So it looks like this information starts to make you go, you know what, I don't really feel happy at my workplace. You know what, maybe my relationship isn't that great or something. Like you start to kind of view it in a warped perception that you can change whenever. You can always change your perception. Again, it's better than you realize it is. Now, the good news is, even though your quote-unquote intuition is off or you're not paying enough attention inward, your emotions are going great. You're very level this year. You have got a good head on your shoulders, so you can understand why the misinterpretations start to happen. You're not making decisions irrationally. In fact, you're trying to go out of your way to receive advice and get the truth and figure out how can you improve your situation. But I will note here that with the Queen of Swords, which would represent like really frank, upfront, the truth, just straight up, nothing sugar-coated about it. While the King of Cups would like to hear what the Queen of Cups is saying, she turns away from him. Not because she's turning away from him and she doesn't want to give him the truth. It's like he accidentally is trying to like talk to the back of her chair and she's like, honey, you gotta come over here to talk to me. So he's in the wrong place at the wrong time. Same thing with the Moon card, or not the Moon card, I'm sorry, with the High Priestess in reverse. High Priestess in reverse refers to somebody who's trying to give you advice. There is people around you that can help you and give you the truth, but you're just not hearing it. Again, keyword, not hearing it. Doesn't mean you don't want it. It's like you're misinterpreting information. The best way I can put that is the Moon card. This is what leads to the Moon card. The Queen of Swords trying to give you the information, trying to show you what's going on. But the Moon card is about when you misinterpret things that you initially see, like your first impression of them was wrong. It doesn't mean it's like ultimately negative and that underlying impression is bad and you perceive them as good, and not at all. But you might totally think one thing is an apple and it's like, no, we're making apple pie. I know you thought we were picking apples, we're actually making apple pie. Not worse, just different. But the problem is due to the secondhand information you're getting, and then you just think, oh, that's what I want. Okay, that's what you're telling me what to do. And then you just run off and do it. Everybody is trying to tell you, actually, I'm implying something else. This shows me the information you're going to receive to help you out of this sort of like mindset and figure out what are your better options and so on and so forth. are being given to you in kind of like non-direct ways. Yes, the moon card can imply that you're receiving information through prophetic dreams, and it can imply kind of like secrets of the universe, but I'm telling you right now, this is a person. This is a person, they have actual advice, but they are not going to tell you what to do directly. They're going to give it to you in kind of a sort of subliminal, and I don't, again, they're not hiding this information from you. It's just that that's how they express themselves. And when I get this kind of like, they're not being super straight up with you sort of information you're receiving, this is implied to me that they feel that they're not able to give you the truth because they're afraid of a repercussion they could go through. So this makes me feel like a mentor, someone who can't say something, because if someone else hears that they're speaking ill about their work environment or whatever, you know, they could get in trouble. So, you get what I'm saying? But when this information is misinterpreted the first time in the moon card, and we talk about how you're motivated by all this stuff, it looks like there's some form of like, you know, quitting your job or leaving a relationship or a project, whatever this is, it is a premature ending. You weren't meant to end it this soon. It does imply that you were meant to, this is why I think you were so easily influenced from the gossip leading to the Nine of Cups in reverse. I think that you're happy with your situation. You just, is there more? You want to grow. You're ready to grow. Like I said, really good intentions this year. And you are meant to leave it in the, you know, in the future. But unfortunately, it looks like you make the mistake of cutting it too soon. A lot of this makes me feel like it's some sort of career or work environment I'm specifically picking up. But as we go down here with the Hierophant in reverse, this is where things start to go awry. So you say, I'm not, let's just use for an example the job. I'm not happy at my job. I've heard everyone says it too. I'm done with it. I'm going to quit because that's what I think I should do. That's the advice I think I'm getting. That's the truth I was seeking for. I thought I received it. And you're like, you know what? I'm going to try something different. I'm going to go a little off the beaten path. I'm going to start my own career or something like that. Or I'm going to do a different type of job that not the average person does. Maybe before I worked in an office, now I'm working in a store. Whatever. I'm delivering or whatever it is. The Hierophant in reverse implies a unconventional like form of education, an unconventional method, not the norm of what people would define in society or a career relationship, that type of thing. And this shows me you're looking for creativity, you're looking to explore, expand, have a little more independence and all that stuff, which is great. But unfortunately, this is not where you were meant to go right now. And it does look like in the Ten of Pentacles in reverse, there is, unfortunately, as you're trying to fund this situation, which is why it makes me think this is career-oriented, that you're kind of spending that money in not the best way, and it's not helping your business. In fact, it's wasting away your resources because you're just spending it all over the place. It's not the proper organized way of it's like, let's say you want to be a yoga teacher, right? And you're like, I'm gonna start my own studio, and you spent way too money on candles and decorations. And you really needed to properly buy a register to be able to take people's money. Does that make sense? So it looks like there's some misplaced energies, again, because you were not receiving the right information or you were not hearing the right information the first time. And it does look like ultimately this sort of decision is going to make you really stressed out. Nine of Swords in reverse is a lot of anxiety, a lot of worrying about, was this the right decision? That's when your intuition starts to kick in and you're like, ooh, I don't know if this was the right decision. You start to be worried about all the money you're spending. You want to go this way, but it just feels like the wrong time, wrong place. Now, all of that aside, which is a lot, this can totally change. This can totally work out in your favor. It is not the time at this moment, at the moment that you think, yeah, I'm not happy. You're right. I should just quit. I should just leave this. It's not the time. I'm not saying it won't end within this year. I'm not saying you won't leave this situation. But what I'm told is that if you feel that you're being influenced by an outside negative workspace or other peers, you're starting to be caught up in all the gossip and secondhand information, stop it. That is not the time to make that decision. In fact, you've got it a lot better than you should, and you need to be, I don't want to say you need to be grateful, but try to shift your perspective and enjoy what you have right now because it's great. It will change in the future, but not right now. Don't do it prematurely because this is not the time to approach this type of situation. Definitely look for that advice, because that advice is going to be helpful in your particular mindset to shift from negative to positive, as well as give you some helpful advice to eventually lead to this other venture you want to go down to. This doesn't mean you can't still go to this. It just means you need to, you need to take time to hear what they're saying. And sometimes really helpful advice takes a while to sink in and click in the right way. You need time to properly understand the advice you're being given to make the right decisions going forward in the future. So the beautiful part is, the reason why you're being told it's not the right time is you need the time to mull this over. And that right now, in the meantime, you get to, how many times can I say time? Sorry about that. You can enjoy what you have. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I've got, again, we're using the job as the reference point. Oh, I've got this great job. It doesn't mean you can't start your own business in the future, but why not enjoy the fact that you get paid well, you actually like your coworkers and your environment and what you're doing for now, and know that you need to take a second to learn a little bit more about the best way to approach this. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm being told. You don't know the right way to approach it yet. The best business plan, the best way to spend your money in the right way to, not accidentally spend it in a way that will run out of funds quicker when you need to use it for something more beneficial. This is still in your future, like the positive way of doing something creative, doing something on your own, doing something outside of your current perspective. But you're going to need to slow down for a bulk of the year. Look for that person who has advice. Really think about what they're saying. Take time. Take like a month or two to really think about what they're saying. Let it sink in. Let it click over time. Especially with the moon card, it implies to me that this is the type of thing where through the clues of the universe, like synchronicities and stuff like that, that's going to really bridge the gap and help you understand how to read between the lines. And then by the end of the year, we can start thinking about this. This will prevent you from being stressed out. This will prevent you from accidentally wasting money. This will also make you happier, because your life is great. Don't get caught up in everyone like talking and saying bad things and everyone just having a negative mindset. Push away from those people. You don't need it, and they're not actually that accurate. So anyways, let's make this year your year. You totally deserve it. And if you enjoyed this reading, please consider giving it a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Either way, have a wonderful day. I'm wishing you the best. I'm wishing you the best 2020, and I will see you in the next one. But let's get ready for group number two. Let's find out what's coming for you in the year 2020. Let's look at your cards. We have Queen of Wands in reverse, Five of Wands in reverse, the Tower upright, Six of Cups upright, the Knight of Swords upright, the Ace of Swords in reverse, the Six of Swords in reverse, two sixes. Two of Swords upright, and your last card is the Knight of Cups in reverse. Just give me one moment to look at these cards, because I am seeing something develop, but I just want to make absolute sure. In fact, I actually want to make so absolute sure with this card. Let me pull something here. Okay, we've got the Eight of Wands. Okay, so that's... I am for sure picking up a relationship thing going on, except the only thing I am not positive about is if the cards are referencing two people or three. That's right, 3 potential romances for you this year. But I will say the name of the game is you are going to build a high level of confidence, a high level of independence, I guess dependence on yourself, independence. You're going to really, there's a high level of growth going on here, which is awesome. But it kind of starts with a difficult situation. This to me feels like it's going to be going on for a little while. This is going to be something that has been going on for a little while, is going to continue for a little while before there's that big change, that big difference going on here with the Tower. So I can tell you right now, this, especially with the Tower popping up and the Queen of Wands popping up, this feels like, and I mean, oh my goodness, the Six of Cups as well. This feels like somebody who is very important to you. This would be somebody you've been dating for a long time, have been with for a long time, or somebody who, if you weren't with them anymore, it would mean a lot to you. It would really affect you emotionally. It would be a big deal to you. Going on. Now I can see here with the Queen of Wands right next to the Five of Wands, this is somebody who is prone to jealousy, make irrational or untrustworthy or unfaithful decisions based on kind of lashing out and misinterpreting situations and being very quick and fiery with their emotions in that way. And often this can be described for somebody who's a bit toxic, to be honest. In the Five of Wands, this shows when it feels like you can't get any further in the discussion or arguments. It feels like you're done, you're tired, you're walking away. You can tell it's not working anymore. You're not getting any further. And there's a feeling of almost like defeat, but a feeling of like, I'm done, I'm tired with this, which almost makes me feel like, I'll be honest with you, this feels like a breakup, and it feels like you're the one that's like, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired, I'm done with it. You are being advised in the Queen of Wands to really start, prevent yourself from being overly honest with this other person. Or I don't want to say overly honest, sharing too much important information you'd like to keep to yourself. You really want to start to turn inwards in what you would like to do rather than depending on this other person. Even before this sort of thing happens, you want to start kind of building that independence and trusting yourself and what you have to say and what you think you should do. This is when like the growth time period really starts. Now, this is where I'm unsure of if there's 3 members involved or 2. Because I do see someone new coming into your life. Very positive. This is a huge positive change for you guys, for you specifically and this other person. But over here, the Six of Cups implies somebody from your past. But I can't tell if this is a severance. Then there's this other person from your past you kind of get in contact with for a little bit. And then there's somebody new. Or if, and I kind of have a hunch it's this one, that the person from your past is the same relationship. Because the Six of Swords over here talks about the concept of like, you gotta finish, what you started. You in order to move on, you need to kind of reconcile with the past or something that didn't work out well. So it looks over here like there's going to be this sort of like, I can't take this anymore. I need to learn to depend on myself. I see we're not moving forward in any way, and this is a big change that affects me. But it does look like you go through this period. This is really great. Ace of Swords is like epiphanies and mental clarity and just like a great heightened level of mental stimulation and clarity. It's really positive. And this is a huge thing that pops up for me when I see people spiritually grow a lot. A lot of the time, the thing that's preventing us is the way we think. It's not always our emotions. Sometimes our emotions are actually blockages and they're a little too up and down or not consistent or not the right way. Sometimes we need the right words, the right thing to hit us to make us feel like we can move forward. So I see this really positive, like, oh, I get it. It's like once you're free of them, you finally are able to think clearly for yourself. And I see a lot of growth happening in that time period. This would be a lot of, you'll find yourself drawn to just wanting to heighten your skills, read books, improving yourself, a lot of that. But anyways, but I see you confronting this person from the past. Now, this is what's really cool and beautiful. I do see you in the Knight of Swords speaking up for yourself, just kind of being like, listen, this is how it was. I didn't like X, Y, and Z. And that moment, that kind of, I don't want to say confrontation because it does not feel like confrontation. It just feels like an amicable, like, let's kind of figure out what's going on in our lives. Ends with you also being really kind of like sweet to them, being like, I want to end this, but I want to see the best in you. So that's where that level of growth is starting to come in, because a lot of people just think things end and it's bad, or it ends and I want to get back with them. That's what I even thought with the Two of Cups here. There is that potential, because it almost feels like there's an amicable both of you understanding one another and being like, yeah, you're right, that didn't work. I'm sorry I was this way. I'm sorry I was this way. I feel more confident in myself and I understand what I did wrong. And so there is this certain level of seeing the best in one another and standing up for who you really are and apologies. And there's a real amicable feeling of conclusion here. But there's also this hint of like, well, now that we're more on the same page, do we want to do this again? We're really important to one another. What should we do? But this is where the cool, interesting part comes in. So we have you and the Two of Swords. It looks like you're a little bit stuck. You're a little bit trying to choose. It shows that the options really are still up in the air until this decision, this moment presents itself, and then the choices you can make, which is so interesting. But the thing is, usually the Two of Swords for me pops up when like fate is showing that there's still a choice and you're going to make the decision, and I can't really always give a definitive answer. But I'll be honest with you, with the Six of Swords being over here and the Eight of Wands, I find it hard to think that you won't go with the newer option, because you're kind of during this time period that you went away from them, you're figuring yourself out, you're gaining your confidence, you're really just like growing intellectually and really finding yourself again. You're finally clear of the fog of what was before with this other person. It looks like you meet somebody else. And this is a pretty awesome relationship with the Eight of Wands. I needed to pull another card because, so in tarot, you can actually read cards either way. So they might be in reverse, but you don't have to read them as reverse. It can be like, there's these two options and it's like, here they're interacting with the card, so to speak. So I wasn't sure if this other option, this new person coming in, was a little bit clingy and might be a little overwhelming for you, kind of almost feeling like a cycle repeating or something. But it's not. It's not. Eight of Wands shows that this person is going to be far more affectionate, especially with a lot of like letting you know how pretty you are or handsome you are. Somebody who's very into holding hands, cuddling. They're just very showy with their affection. You're not gonna be confused if they're into you, so to speak. And the Eight of Wands shows that this relationship will develop very quickly. Often this is described as a whirlwind romance. So it's almost like you're a couple before you've or after you've barely gotten to know one another. It's a lot of like opening up and being very active, you know, together in that way, romantically and physically. But I can see over here, you will, in order to move on, this is where you feel pulled, need to have this experience where you go back to this person and kind of have that closure, that ultimate feeling of growth for you, that final feeling of like you can stand on your feet and stand up to this person and speak your mind in a way you couldn't before. There's a sense of like, let's overcome this together. Let's both end in a way we can both agree upon. And, I can still say there was some good times in there. Let's feel that sense of closure together. But it's not just closure so you can feel like you're no longer confused, like if maybe this other person was an option. But it's a huge, like I said, this year for you is a very big, like, finding yourself again. Not finding yourself and just growing. Like, you were always awesome to begin with, and you're reconnecting to that person who had once gotten lost in the fog of all this going on. So ultimately, I do see there being a confusing time period because of this closure going on. It kind of makes you feel close to this person again. And on the other hand, you're feeling you really like this newness and the sense of, amazingness. But I think where the indecisiveness comes in is like, this is so new, and this is somebody I once trusted and depended on. I know this person was dependable. Can I trust this? Is this too good to be true? Can I trust this? Is this something I can go on and be solid? And ultimately, I do see you picking more of the positive route, because this is a huge thing. It's not that you pick them because you feel like they're the one. And I'm not saying they can't be the one. It just feels like, at the end of the day, you can trust yourself to always move forward, make the right decisions, handle yourself if things don't go well. There's, like I said, it's a huge year of confidence building for you. And so you're just like, you know what? I think I'm just going to kind of go for this, enjoy this, see what comes from it, instead of choosing out of fear, choosing out of like, well, I can't depend on myself sort of mentality. So like I said, this is a little rough. There is some beautiful closure. There's an awesome second option that's going to be coming up. And a lot of confidence building, and growth. So it's honestly like a really awesome year for you, and I'm really excited for you to enjoy and get to see this new part of yourself and reconnect with yourself again. So yeah, if you enjoyed this reading as much as I enjoyed giving it, please consider giving a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out like you would not believe. But either way, have a great day. Have a gorgeous day. I'm wishing you the best, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's get ready for group number three. Let's find out what's coming for you in the year 2020. Let's look at your cards. We have the Seven of Swords upright, the Seven of Cups in reverse, Page of Wands upright, the Six of Pentacles in reverse, Five of Wands upright, Three of Pentacles in reverse, the Tower in reverse. Ooh, the Eight of Swords in reverse, and right next to that. That's huge. That's really great. And your last card is the Seven of Pentacles in reverse. Oh, wow. This is going to be a really, really big year for you. This is really good. Yeah, this is, okay, so this is awesome. So it looks like I can see you overcoming some things that you have. It's kind of like, when people affect us and bring us down, we do have a choice on how we can take on that energy and how we want to respond, and if we want to let them control us, if that makes sense. So sometimes it's a personal thing that we have to overcome. But guess what? Not only do you personally overcome these barriers you've set for yourself, but the outside stuff gets tackled with as well. So inward overcoming and then outward overcoming. Those things go away. So a lot of good stuff going your way. So let's start off with the Page of Wands upright. This is like the main motif of the spread, is the best way I can put it. This is the catalyst to everything else. So it looks like you're going to start this project. This is something, whether it be a job you've wanted to go into, a hobby, something that's going to take up a lot of your time, your interest, and really become a defining part of who you are. Now, it looks like I can tell you've been prohibited for some time now, where you're always being brought down for trying to explore new things and change your perspective of yourself. This almost feels like it's family related. Someone in your life is just causing you to have to kind of close up from other people, or them, so to speak. But either way, this is huge. You finally make the choice, make the action. And the Seven of Cups shows me that you've been wanting this for a while, but it's a bit of indecisiveness, not whether or not to do it, but you're kind of like, well, if I am going to do it, what is it going to be? And the cool thing with the Seven of Cups in reverse being here and the Tower card being in here, this shows me that this decision you're like, okay, I'm gonna learn this new language, or I'm gonna start this business, whatever it is. This is going to dramatically affect your life and your being for the better. This is a huge growth time period by making this active choice and moving forward with this endeavor and this hobby, whatever this thing is. Now, I can tell you right now, especially with the Five of Wands over here, it looks like somebody has kind of always been bringing you down. You can never seem to get them to understand your perspective. There's just a constant back and forth, and you've been actively trying to change their opinion or say like you don't understand or whatever, but there's just this feeling of them negatively. It's like there was the fear to move forward because of this negative influence. So you're being advised by the cards here, and here, that the name of the game is being alone. In fact, actually, I want to repeat being alone twice. Being alone from this person and situation and keeping what you're doing it secretively. I'll go into that in a moment. And also the Three of Pentacles in reverse and the Seven of Pentacles in reverse and even the Five of Wands kind of imply there's someone else involved, like a team member. Maybe this is like two people, you and someone else working on something, and you're being advised that this is not where you want to go. You want to work on this situation alone. They are just not in a position to help you. It's just not meant to be at this time period. It's nothing deeper than that. Just work on the project alone. Don't work with them. But we talk about working alone in contrast to this situation that kind of keeps bringing you down. The Seven of Swords shows a couple things. That you're meant to be secret about this. Sometimes you have to be private in order to succeed. So as far as everyone else is concerned, you're living your life. No one has any idea you are learning a musical instrument or you're doing something. So you don't have to keep having people check in on you or make little comments to bring you down. Whatever it is, you kind of like want to feel like you have room to mess up and grow and get situated so that by the time other people find out, you can feel your best. So the name of the game is secrecy. I mean, even the Six of Pentacles implies that it's time to be selfish, and that's a good thing. That you do have more to give, but you're not going to, and that's okay. Especially when I see it saying like, listen, yeah, I can give you my time and attention or the skills I have or whatever, but you know what? We're not seeing eye to eye. I think it's best if I stop giving my attention to you, stop giving you what you think you want from me, and instead turn it inwardly in order to grow, in order for this project to progress. Because again, you want this project to progress. You want this thing to move forward. It's really going to shape you as a person and really be a redefining a part about your personality, quality of your life. And like I said, if this is business related, and oftentimes it is, who doesn't want to start their own business and have it do well? So you're being told to take some time and don't tell anybody about it. But I'm also being told that, again, through these three cards are really important, you're not currently necessarily ready for this project to fully come to life. It doesn't mean that it can't, and I know that seems a bit contradictive when you hear that statement, but you're being told that in the Seven of Swords, this talks about you don't have the best strategy right now moving forward. In fact, you're looking outward. It implies you haven't learned it yet. You haven't quite gained the knowledge of how to turn this thing into something bigger and be able to then be proud of what it's become. Over here, the Three of Pentacles implies you still need to work on your skills. You haven't quite gotten there yet. Your dream is bigger than your abilities right now, which is not a big thing. It doesn't mean you're still being told, like, go for it. But this, again, the secrecy talks about how you need to take some time to develop those abilities before you bring it to not only other people's attentions, but turning it into something that's profitable or if it's just purely attention. So example, before you start the business, let's say you are an artisan of some sort. You are making things or whatever. Take time right now, before you just secretly open that business and start selling those things, take time right now to perfect it. You're not there yet. You will be. You should still move forward with it, but definitely make that a priority. You need secrecy to grow and mess up, but you also need secrecy and selfishness in order to perfect, and you need to spend time on yourself inward. Now, I do want to talk about a perspective change, and one of the biggest things that feels like a bunch of stuff happening. So over here, we talk about the Tower in reverse. Tower in reverse is an awesome card. It talks about a long-standing issue finally coming to an end. This can imply like inward growth, but it also can imply like if these outside influences have been kind of preventing you from growing as a person and starting out in these ventures for a while, it looks like they're finally just going away. They are going to be gone. That's just as simple as that. It's not going to be an issue anymore. But the Eight of Swords in reverse talks about your own self-imposed limitations going away. Things that you thought you couldn't do. Like I said, we talked about trying something new and really going for it and realizing you no longer are as small or as limited as you thought you were. You can do anything you want. It just depends on what walls you put in front of yourself. You don't have to be influenced by outside people anymore. You don't have to take on that negative energy anymore. So this is a huge positive wall for overcoming. But a huge thing that looks like that's held you back in the past and has the potential, you're being warned, like, hey, go for this adventure, but definitely work on your skills before you really debut it, is in the Seven of Pentacles. This is another long-standing issue it looks like you're overcoming this year in a really great way. This talks about somebody who's not exactly pumped about the results they've received so far for their hard work. You know, they're already so ahead in their future of like, why haven't I received this? And there's a frustration element to it. But you're also being told that, you know, you need to stop worrying so much about what it will be and what it isn't now, and just be within the work itself. So you're being advised this year, go for that project, go for that thing. Do not tell anyone. Focus on your skills and don't feel frustrated if it takes some time before you can let everyone know you're doing it, before this business can actually come into existence, because it's more important you learn to be here now and be in that flow, be in that work life, because the less you're so frustrated in the future, the more you can actually only focus your attention on perfecting those skills. Does that make sense? Because how can you ever take time to practice something, get better at it, if all you do is have your thoughts consumed about what you're doing wrong, what it is? You're wasting practical time, if that's the best way to put it. So I see a lot of like inner happiness. I see a lot of walls dropping down inwardly for you. I see people that have brought you down going away. I see some new stuff developing. I see you doing it on the down low. Just awesome stuff. Awesome stuff to look forward to. So if you've been having something kind of really bother you for a while that you're like, I've always wanted to go for this, go for it. You're going to be, the best way I can put it is like, you know how in like high school or when you're younger or at any stage in your life, you again, like I said, you pick up guitar. You then become someone known as who plays and is passionate about the guitar and is like very in tune with music. You become known as that person, and that's something you're proud to take on, that new identity compared to who you were before. Maybe you didn't feel defined before, and now you do. You feel like a place for yourself in the world has developed, and therefore other communities with other people starts to pop up because you know, hey, I fit in there. Now I can make new friends. Now I can find someone who's also passionate about that. All cool things to think about and look forward to, but get excited to develop those new skills and be secretly cool. Don't worry, you'll tell people about it in the long run. But either way, if you enjoyed this reading as much as I did, please consider giving it a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Have a lovely day. I'm wishing you the best, especially with the year 2020, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's get ready for group number four. Let's find out what's coming for you in the year 2020. Let's look at your cards. We have the Four of Swords in reverse, the Six of Pentacles upright, the Six of Swords upright, the Eight of Swords in reverse, Five of Swords upright, Knight of Pentacles upright, Three of Cups in reverse, the Lovers in reverse, and your last card is the Eight of Cups in reverse. Let me just look at your cards for a moment. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna just title this The Year of the Purge. That is the best way I can put it, because you are going to be really cleaning out the social closet is the best way I can put it. Now because this is a general reading, this can refer to friendships, family, just relationships that aren't serving you anymore, romantic relationships. I'm getting more of a friend group, to be honest with you. But let's get into it, because it does turn out for you for the best, and all of this is for the best. So there's a lot of positivity in the end, but you need to know certain things so it helps you carry less guilt or less like, oh no, I didn't like that happened. There's a good reason it happened. Sometimes things happen for the best and you will be happy in the end. I'm telling you this. So Four of Swords in reverse is talking about how kind of like the beginning of the year, you weren't feeling the best. You kind of felt like you needed to sit some things out. We're talking about like January time period. And you're being told and beckoned to, and Spirit is chiming in as well as like, too bad, you've rested enough, it's time to now move forward. You've taken your time to breathe and have a break over the, winter break or whatever is going on for you if you had some time off from work or whatever, and now it's time to move forward in life. You're being beckoned to, you're being pushed to, you got to move forward. Now, you are going to be moving forward, I can see, in the Six of Swords upright, but there are some bumps along the way. Now, the main bumps I see is constantly, it is just here, repeated, that the bump is this social situation going on. It's a group of friends. Again, this is generic, so this could be co-workers, whatever, but we'll just, for right now, call it a group of friends. Now, in the Six of Swords being right next to the Six of Pentacles, both of these are implying that you are the one that's been kind of supporting everybody else in the friend group. You have been the one taking care of everybody, being there for when they need some advice or someone to talk to. And the funny thing is, you have the capability, you can do it, even though you've come through a pretty, when someone takes like a break like that in the Four of Swords, they've been through some stuff, It's not, they needed some time to relax because what they went through was so rough, and now they're moving forward, but they're still acutely aware of what they've been through before. So even despite that, you're doing a great job being the main support system of the group. But this is telling us in the Six of Swords that other people are currently unable to give back to you. You're going to be the one supporting them. They're not going to be the ones being able to support you. And then unfortunately, I do see over here in the Five of Swords a sort of turning their backs on you, so to speak, when you need them most. We can see that here in the Eight of Swords. But the thing is, this is not the sort of betrayal that implies, well, it doesn't imply it will feel like betrayal, because you were there for them and they're not there for you. But I do want you to keep in mind that the Six of Swords talks about they are unable to be there for you. You have been helping a group of people, and yes, they should be the ones to now be there for you. But they're just like, I just can't do it. I just can't be there for you when you need me to. Maybe when you need them to stand up for you, they're just not capable at that moment. Either way, there's just a clear defining, like, when you need them most, they're not going to. And unfortunately, that's what's causing the rough and the bumps. Like I said, you've been through something, you took a break, you're now moving forward in life, but it's a little rough. You would like a better support system along the way when we talk about the Six of Swords. But I do want to point out that the Six of Swords is really positive. It implies that you will get to the end of this rough time period. You will feel better than you did even before when you had the Four of Swords experience. But you got to keep moving forward. It's just going to it's going to take a little time. It's going to be not the most comfortable at times, but you will be moving forward. Both the Six of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles talk about this taking a while. And you're given a bit of helpful advice in the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles, first of all, is one of our first, and we'll talk about this more in depth over here, but it talks about how the help that you need, the advice you need, the things that you need, you were never going to get from these other people. It's wonderful that you're so compassionate and generous and there for them, but you were never going to get back what you were giving to them. Not out of selfishness, but just that's not the place they're in their life right now to, offer that back to you. And the Knight of Pentacles asks you to focus on things that are safe and trust what you can see and touch kind of idea. So this is all about taking care of your body, making safe and kind of like traditional choices, the easier choice. It's about going, that's a nice offer, but unless I can see the proof or know where it definitively is going to go, I just can't take a risk right now in my life. It's especially Six of Swords can be described as like moving forward and carrying that pain with you. And so sometimes you're going to need to be quiet and just kind of stay out of everyone else's way and want to be left alone a little bit in order to move forward while you're carrying this difficult experience. Same thing with the Knight of Pentacles. It's better that you take care of yourself now. It's better to be safer, a little more quiet, a little more slower. You are going to be moving forward, and a little bit of that pain is caused due to the lack of support system. But as negative as that sounds, there is a lot of positivity from it. So it looks like I'm being told both here and here in the Eight of Cups and, Eight of Cups and the Eight of Swords that you are, actually this was meant to happen. This is often described as when a group, you're getting rid of, you're clearing out your life. You're, as I described in the beginning, you're purging your life of the things or people that are no longer benefiting you. This often pops up for me when you're surrounded by potentially toxic people. Like I said, when they turn their backs on you, it is because they are unable to. However, I do want to note the main reason you're helping them to begin in the first place is, unfortunately, with the Lovers card in reverse. The Lovers card in reverse pops up when people will use, like, I thought you cared about me, as a manipulative method to get you to do what they want. So they might mess with you and twist how the situation is actually being perceived and the relationship you have between the two of you in order to get you to help them. So that's not great. That's not the kind of company you want to keep around you. But when they're not being there for you, it's nothing sinister. I know that's not the best because it will feel like not fun when you feel not close to these people. But the Three of Cups in reverse also talks about people that just don't have the best intentions for you. They don't have the best intentions for themselves. All of this is pointing to a group of people you just don't really want around you to begin with. You're being told by the universe it's the very thing holding you back. You're moving forward no matter what. It's all good for you. But if you'd like to smooth out your sails a little bit, when you start to notice these people, you're always the one giving to them and they're not giving back, be aware that maybe you should make certain decisions and moves that prevent you from feeling like you were betrayed. Feel like they're, don't even give them the opportunity to not be there for you. Take it slow. Take it safe. This is the year that you get back on your feet, that you heal. You kind of have a better sense of footing. But don't let this thing even be a rough part of your seas, so to speak. Don't let this be the waves that can rock the boat a little bit. You'll still move forward no matter what. Even if you couldn't prevent this and it still happens, you'll still move forward. But I'm telling you right now, this is changeable. This is fixable. You can start to, again, I'm not advising you to just cut out all your friends. Just if you start to notice people are also needing your help, and they can't return, those are the signs, those are the clues. If they start to be like, but you were my best friend, be aware. Are they considering what you're feeling and what you're going through? And that maybe now is not the time. You're going through your own process. So you're being told about people you can, for the better, remove from your life. You're being told about things you can avoid. Eight of Swords is a really awesome positive omen about how it's all going to turn out. This shows that the last piece of things that were bringing you down and preventing you from feeling like the best version of yourself, getting all the things you want, having the year that you want, will be free from your life. These are the people. You're going to remove them. It's all going to turn out in the best, for the best. But just keep being patient, keep moving forward, be aware of these people, and it's all going to, this is your time to shine. I do want to point out one last other positive omen, that Six of Pentacles on a financial note, for me, often refers to somebody who's doing so well that they are able to give to others. So I see some money coming into your life, healing, making room for better friends, kind of removing those proverbial chains that held you back that you didn't even know were around you to begin with. That's what the Eight of Swords talks about, being unaware and then suddenly being aware. So get excited. A lot of cool, beneficial things, even if it feels a little rough to go through. I hope you enjoyed this reading as much as I did. Please consider giving it a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out like you would not believe. Either way, I am wishing you the best. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful 2020, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!